Let us move ahead with the second process known as condensation. The process of changing vapor into its liquid form on cooling is called condensation. This method is used when the liquid component of the mixture is desirable, that is, we want. When water vapor comes in contact with a cold surface, it changes into drops of water due to condensation. Let us understand condensation process by activity 8. Here it is given to separate both salt and water from a salt solution. As you see in the picture, a kettle is there, burner is there, here a frying pan is there, and a beaker is there. Now let us see what we are going to do in this activity 8. Now take some salt solution in a kettle, place this kettle on a tripod stand and light a burner below it. Heat the kettle till you see steam coming out from its spout. Hold a frying pan containing some ice above the steam in a slanting position just as shown in the figure. As the steam comes in contact with the frying pan, it condenses to drops of water. These droplets trickle down on the underside of the frying pan and can be collected in a beaker. Salt is left in the kettle. Moving ahead with the second process, distillation. Yeah, first look into the figure. Distillation process. Different apparatus are shown over here. A thermometer, vapor distillation flask, water outlet, burner, condensator, cold water inlet, receiver, distillate. Now let us understand what is distillation. Distillation is a process of obtaining both the dissolved soluble substances and the liquid in which it is dissolved. In this method, the mixture is heated in a flask. The liquid in the flask evaporates and is collected in another beaker with the help of a condenser shown in the picture. The solid component is left behind in the flask. Now, separation of liquid from mixture of immiscible liquids. इमिसिबल मीन्स जो एक दूसरे के अंदर मिक्स नहीं होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऑयल एंड वाटर. टेक अ ग्लास ऑफ वाटर, पुट सम ड्रॉप्स ऑफ ऑयल इन इट, शेक इट वेल, leave that glass undisturbed for few minutes. You will see that two layers of liquid are formed in water. The lower liquid is of water and the upper liquid is of oil. That means it is immiscible liquids. Here, immiscible liquids are those that cannot be mixed together. An example is that oil does not dissolve in water. It forms a layer above the surface of water. Hence, oil and water are immiscible liquids. They can be separated by using a separating funnel. This is shown in our activity 9. Here you can see, to separate oil from water, pour a mixture of oil and water in a separating funnel, leave it undisturbed for some time. You will see a clear layer of oil over water. Turn on the stopper of the separating funnel and allow the water to flow out into the beaker placed below. Stop the flow as soon as the layer of oil reaches the stopper. Here in the figure you can see separating funnel is there, a mixture of oil and water is there, a beaker is here lying over here. As soon as you start this stopper, water will be collected in the beaker and oil will remain in the flask. Separation of mixtures by using more than one method. Very often a single method of separation is not sufficient to separate the different components in a mixture. In this case, 2 or more methods of separation are used, one after another. For this, activity 10 is given. Here we have to separate the components of mixture of sand and salt. Add the mixture of sand and salt in a beaker containing water. Stir it well. Leave it undisturbed. You will observe that the sand settles at the bottom of the beaker, and by the process of filtration or decantation, salt water from sand is separated. Now, to separate salt from water, use second method of evaporation. By doing this, salt is left behind in the dish, which is shown in the next figure over here. Here, in figure A, mixture of salt and sand is there. Sand settles down at the bottom after sedimentation. After sedimentation, it is followed by filtration and decantation. Here, sand is separated from the mixture of sand, salt and water solution. After filtration decantation, this water contains only salt solution. Here, another method, evaporation, is being used. After heating, water is evaporated and only salt residues are left inside the beaker. Thus, using the process of sedimentation, decantation or filtration and evaporation, we can separate sand and salt from their mixture. Now, moving ahead to the last part of this chapter, water. You all know that water is a universal solvent. Why it is called universal solvent? Because mostly all the solid liquid particles are dissolved in it. So, water is called a universal solvent because it can dissolve many things in it. Now, what is a solution? Solute and solvent. Let us understand these different terms. So, when a substance is dissolved in water, it forms a solution. The substance that is dissolved in water is called solute. The substance in which this solute is dissolved is called solvent. For example, here you can see sugar is a solute, water is a solvent. Sugar is dissolved in water, so we can get a sugar solution. In another example, sand is a solute, water is a solvent, but sand is not dissolved in water, so solution is not formed. Now, what is the effect of temperature and solubility? Let us see. You must have experienced that if you keep dissolving more and more salt in a glass of water, after some time no more salt can be dissolved in it. Any more salt added is undissolved at the bottom of the glass. This is because the solution becomes saturated. So, a solution in which no more solute can be dissolved at a given temperature is called saturated solution. However, more solute can be dissolved in a saturated solution by heating the solution. This can be explained by activity 11. Here, take a half glass of water, add a small quantity of sugar in it and keep stirring the spoon. You will observe that the sugar will dissolve in water. Keep on dissolving more and more sugar until no sugar dissolves and it starts settling at the bottom of the beaker. Thus, the solution has become saturated. Now, if we heat this saturated solution, we will observe that the undissolved sugar starts dissolving in it. Thus, raising the temperature makes the saturated solution unsaturated. Along with this video, I will be sending you the answers for MCQs, fill in the blanks, true or false, match the column, one word, very short answer type question, and long answer type question, which you have to write in your science notebook. Thank you for today.